Hi there. Oops. Hi, I'm Chef Jay Tay. Happy to see all of you back. Welcome. Hello there, Will. Hello there, Nan Reader. Welcome in, Sofluff. Hello, Alex. Welcome in, Muskeg. Welcome. Hello, the Rose Witch. Dominic. JK. You all in here. Nice. I was late. Bad me. Ooh. Thank you for the resub, Will. Greatly appreciate that. Another lovely month. 46 of them. Wow. So I just realized about 15-20 minutes ago when I went and put a tie in my hair. I went out shopping and hung out in the world all day today with my shirt mismatched on the buttons. Oh, isn't life grand? But otherwise, pretty good day. I bought a can of spray paint and painted a... I've had a rack for ages in my shed back over here. And it's for holding like papers or a whole bunch of different things. And I thought I could maybe make use of that. I never really made use of it in the first place. Someone gave it to me, or left it to me when I was working at the farmers markets. And I thought it was a nice rack that used some work in some form. And then I put it in my shed for like 5 years, probably longer. So I bought a can of spray paint and sprayed that down this afternoon. And hopefully that'll be a nice addition. Sitting out there in the shed for years, it had slightly rusted. It had a little surface rust, and it's just a wire metal rack. Maybe I'll get to see it one day. Are you working? Is the GoPro on? Nope, the GoPro is not on. Uh-oh. This is usually a pain in the butt. Let's just go without it tonight. Lovely! I didn't start my recording back here. I'll give it another shot. Let's see. Not sure what happened there with the GoPro. It is not cooperating. I'm guessing the USB on it is not working right. It's my best guess. Because, I mean, it can't turn on or off if I don't have power to it. I still try to talk to it, even though I know it's off. I don't know why. Maybe I should have, that was the wrong button. Maybe should have bought some half and half today. Hopefully everyone else is having a lovely day. Anything else got anything new or exciting going on? I was rather shocked today. When I said earlier I was buying spray paint. Rather shocked that you can buy a can of spray paint for $2 and change today. Guess graffiti has got no problems with inflation. I mean, I still went for the $4 can because I assumed the $2 can was gonna, like, not gonna make it even home. I don't know. But still, $2 and change for a can of spray paint. Like, can they even put the metal ball in there for that price? Thank you all for joining me tonight. Cheers. I went to Home Depot and I bought the $4 Home Depot instead of the $2.25 no-name one. I don't know if that was the right play or not. thinking about that after getting home. It was more a situation where they were all locked up. I had an employee helping me. He had gotten the cheap one that I had asked for, and then pointed out, "Oh, we got that one for $225." You know, in the other locked case. And I was like, "I'll just go." Okay, we're starting with yeast bread. Yeasties. Last of my yeasties? I keep promising it to be last of my yeasties. Bit of warm water. Rust-Oleum. I always think of them more for, like, if I'm, like, trying to put, like, a serious, like, base coat on something. Yeah, let's make it the last of the yeast tonight. Bit of sugar, make that yeast happy. They were pretty good. I ate one of them yesterday and one of them today for lunch. They were a lot beefier than I expected. Like, they weren't the most beefiest thing I've ever had, but I expected, like, steaming them and all of the liquids of them just sort of pulling out of it, that it would have been almost, like, flavorless. It wasn't. Cup measure. Hey, Shauna. Bit more water in with the yeasties. Little cumin. Why, hello there. Welcome, raiders. Thank you for the raid. What are we doing, Jupanani? Thank you for sharing the community. Do a little garlic in here, too. My week is, started off mismatched. Hopefully everyone's week has started out a little less kerfuffled than mine. Hello there, Sea Doodle. Hi there, Jeepananny. What were you up to today, Jeepananny? 8 bits a bite, welcome in. We got some yeasties waking up over here. Little seasoned AP flour over here. Add a little salt to that party too. Dried thyme. This is going to be our flatbread tonight. Thank you for the follow. What else can we get going right off here? I need to get into doing the donor next. Thank you for the follow. I'm going to be doing the loaf style of making doner at home. This is the second time I think I'm doing the loaf-like style of doing it at home. I don't have, obviously, the nice turning spit that you can just carve it off of. And so, there's really sort of 2 ways you can do it at home. I'm going to basically form it into like a puck and roast it as a whole in a puck and then slice it. The other way that I've done before is you can roll it out really thin in parchment and roast it really thin. I think the way rolling it out thin and roasting it got it really good color. I think it you're under a pretty big risk of overcooking it. I don't think that I did, but I think it's a big risk, and I think I don't know if it's better than this or not. Two ways of doing it, though. I'm doing a mashup between, like, Turkish and Mexican tonight. So we're doing doner in flatbread, but I'm going to be doing it with a tomatillo salsa and lime crema. And then I'm going to be making hummus, but using black beans and chipotle. Made Mexican street corn popper, sweet sloppy joes, smashed new potatoes and coleslaw. Ooh, that sounds yummy. Enjoy that. Great way to start your week. So once again, thank you for that raid, Juvenani. Let's go ahead and add our yeast water in with our flour. My hands a proper wash up before I thoroughly get them in there. Let's give this a nice knead up until it gets all nice and smooth. We're pretty close there already. This relatively low hydration mix. Allow that to hopefully poof. Turn our oven up to 450. Add the break. I am just going to be cleaning up tomatillos to be roasting. We do 3 minutes of ads for getting rid of pre-rolls every hour. So I'll see all of your lovely faces when we get back from those. I know I say that I'll see all your lovely faces. I don't see anyone's faces, but it's nice that you're all here. Thank you for the follow. It's got a tail. Maybe it's just happy to see us. Weird. Left it over here. Bad me. Not supposed to leave things out. Supposed to put them back away. Salt and garlic powder. So those are going to go into that 450 degree oven. It's not up to heat. Doesn't matter. I don't need to shock them with high heat. We're just looking to roast them. Take a look at those in 25. I would have done 20, but it's heating up. Okay, so we got those roasting, we got that going. We need to get into our lamb next. We can keep you. What was I going in here for again? I'll take one of those, but that isn't why I was in here for. Little bit of binder. We're not making meatloaf here. Just doesn't want to stay. I'm half tempted to just get a whole new box grater. Like, this thing is just ridiculous. Like, the reason I initially grated this was I wanted it torn. Like a grater normally tears the onion. It ruins the whole idea of using the grated onion with like meatballs and stuff like that too, because it's actually cutting the stuff. Garlic. Cumin. Paprika. Salt and pepper. Do I have any coriander in here still? Only whole. Hey, Knowledge. Welcome, welcome. And this is a little bit like sausage making at this point. We're working this meat until it starts to sort of, almost like we're working with dough. We're going to work with this meat until it sort of becomes sticky and it starts emulsifying everything together. You know, I'm debating using tin foil again. I was thinking of cramming this into a small little crock and throwing it in the oven. But I'm strongly debating aluminum foil right now. It's not a horrible idea. I've worked at places where that was the general rule. Like, kitchens in general, like, to the public, they're like, we use gloves for everything. And then you get into the kitchen and they're like, that's an expense. We only want you to use... And so I've worked a couple of places where the one that comes to mind the most was my internship when I was in college. The whole resort had the general policy that they weren't against you wearing gloves at any time, but their general rule is that if you're handling any type of protein, you need to be wearing gloves. It's our oven at 450 for our tomatillos that are already in there. Hey, Lingus. Wow. I don't know how to pronounce that one. Welcome in. Sorry. I tried and then realized how bad I had done. Is the reality of what happened there. Do we use that? No, I think we're going to use foil. It's a blizzard. Yeah, well, there's alternatives. You could be like me and have everyone think when you say your name, you're a football player who's taller and black, and not me. I would have enjoyed being a football player professionally, maybe. Maybe could have made more money that way. Field goal kicker. I am worried about this pulling apart, and so I'm not stressing it so much that it's completely packed together. But we're pretty close there. Nah, I didn't do any of that sort of stuff in school. And I went to Culinary Institute. I didn't go to college that had, like, the football team. We'll set this over on the stove. We're going to take the oven and knock it down to 400 now. And we're going to throw this in the oven with the tomatillos. And we got about 10 minutes on there, so we'll have about 10 minutes when tomatillos are checked. The doner is going to be in the oven for a hot minute. It's going to be in there 40-50 minutes, upwards of an hour. That's not what I wanted. There we go. We have mild poofage. Onions. Hey, bakery. I got lots of stuff in the oven. That's what I'm up to, bakery. We got bread poofing. I'm kitchening the rest of this coffee. What all am I doing with this onion? We got the onion set for that. We're going to need the onion for the salsa. And we're going to need it for the... These aren't attached, are they? No, okay. I'll just hold it together. That'll be enough for the tobacco onions. I keep wanting to call these tobacco onions, and I don't know why. Like, tobacco onions are the onions that are, like, coated in seasoning and a little bit of flour and then fried. They're like onion straws, or they're sold under a couple of different names. I'm going to be essentially quick pickling these onions, but with lemon juice and sumac and herbage. It's not fried floured onions at all. Trying to think of some other names that I've heard them called other than that, but I'm try and break these up a bit. onion straws. White vinegar. Do I got any of this left? A little bit. We'll give them a touch of the red wine. Then lemon. Freeze-dried parsley. Dried oregano. Sumac. I'm gonna let them hang out and make a party. Need some salt in there too. Oh, hush. Let's take a look at our tomatillos. Are they ready to come out yet? I'm gonna give that another 5 minutes. Alright, so onions in here. The salt's gonna pull a little bit more moisture out of them and they're going to break down a little bit. So hopefully after a few, the water level will be a little bit closer to the top on those. Rest of this I'm just sort of chopping up, throw in with the salsa. Thank you, Kip. Welcome in. I don't know that I need the rest of this, but we can probably use half of this. I feel like they're targeting my age demographic in movies right now. Just based off of what I've seen recently in new trailers. Like, I think most people under 20 probably were not waking up to Looney Tunes. Maybe they were. Maybe the last 10. But we're coming out with another Looney Tunes movie, which I sort of feel like is... What was the other one that was like... Yeah, that's for... They're marketing that for me. There was another one that I saw recently that was... The new one looks hilarious too. I mean, it's based around the premise of Coyote suing Acme. Looney Tunes versus the evil corpo world with what's his name as antagonist. Like, when do you think the cutoff were for kids, the majority of kids, being heavily into Looney Tunes? Are they still getting to kids in some form? Like, I don't see them watching TV, watching Looney Tunes. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I don't see them looking at Looney Tunes on their iPad. So we'll take these and drop them into the blender. All liquid we can get off of that too. Maybe I was right with the first part of onion here. Yeah. I should have stayed with the half onion. Come on, it's not that hard. You're supposed to... It just screws on. Wait. Oregano. Or sorry, cilantro. And... Where art thou? My pickled jalapenos. Why did my earbud just immediately go quiet? It's just messing up. Earbud is dying. Hey Ozzy, welcome in. We'll give this a blend. I'm gonna mute for the blend. Get a spatula rinsed off here, and we'll see what we got for our salsa here. Did that get mixed up enough? I hope so. I'm going with it regardless. Not done with you tonight, Blender. I think I've done black bean hummus before. Works out pretty well. I'm not putting tahini in it, only because I don't feel like buying a giant can of tahini and use that much of it. I never go through a can of tahini. Can, or I guess they sell them in smaller jars now. I still wouldn't go through it. But we can get started on that here next, I think. We're waiting on things to cook and the bread's not quite ready. What did I do with the stuff that I was doing for this? Did I leave it on the counter? Where did I hide the cans? Where are the cans? Show me the cans. Right in front of my face. It's been a minute since I've done the jazz channels. I sort of got burnt out on them for a little while. I don't like the aquafaba flavor that I get off of most canned beans. I know some recipes suggest you just blend them all together, figuring the beans are going to pull some of that, be able to thicken up that liquid. I just don't want it at all. I think it gives an off flavor a lot of the time. Cold water, rinse them clean. My nose is running all of a sudden. I don't know what I did to trigger it. But I have triggered it. So excuse me. I just realized I left my bedroom door open. Lucky I didn't set off the smoke alarm. Like, just turning this oven on sometimes is enough to do that. There's only 5 letters. Okay, so we'll do a bit of sesame oil. Olive oil. Lemon juice. and chipotle. I think we can do 2. Hey Alex, welcome back. Wrap the rest of these up. Label it. Chipotle. Probably couldn't see that, but it was there. I don't have a good place for the chipotle right now. That needs a bit more liquid. Just trying to make chili mac one day. I had to put them in a strainer to rinse. And caught myself and was like, don't wash them. So I put them back. You don't, if it actually, what, huh? And do I... Let's see what we get with this. It is probably going to be too thick. I hope not, but it's probably going to be. Gonna mute for the blend. Ooh. That isn't very interesting. I'm going to throw some cumin in that. It's acidic. It's got the kick from the chipotle. It's got that smoke. And then the black beans, it works. I don't really know how else to I don't know how to really describe it, but it works. Let's give this another shot in the blender. switch earbuds. Maybe that way I can actually hear what's going on. Yeah, that's going to work fine. That's going to be yummy. Despite the smokiness, the lemon, the lots of lemon that I added in there, really brightens it up and counters that, as does the cilantro. Or, not cilantro. Why am I thinking cilantro? I had cilantro in the salsa, not in this. By the way, if you've never made your own hummus at home, give it a shot sometime. It's one of those dishes that's just so much better when it's made fresh at home and you can do the ratio right yourself. I feel like so many commercial ones just taste so watered down. It's actually a bit looser than I expected. I don't know if that's chickpeas lose more or dry up more or smoked paprika. Grab a photo of this. Ad break coming up. While we're in the ad break, I think I'm going to start into rolling out our flatbread. Got another 7 minutes on our meat. Wow, that didn't fold at the very end very nicely. We're going to get that one last pull out the side here. Yeah, that one's just weird shaped. So I'm taking each of these, sort of smushing them point down, trying to get them somewhat round to start and not pinching on themselves. Then we're going to allow them to hang out and do a bit more poofing before they hit a pan. Nah, I think YouTube demonetizes you for that, Alex. No, they're... I honestly don't know what they are. I believe they're some sort of cured wood or stained wood, or... The edging is most certainly wood. But I don't know... I think we're just going to risk that for the biscuit. And not going to in-depth temp that. I think that's cooked. I wish I had a better answer for you for that one, Alex. I mean, I don't own the house, so it's not like... Meat sizzling while it's out of the oven is sort of pleasant. It very much reminds me of a high school lab counter. It's got that same sort of color and feel to it, but just don't know. And it does react well to being oiled. Like, I've oiled this table several times. It does wonders for its color. It starts to fade and turn an almost green otherwise. Let's make sure none of these are sticking to the counter. Give them all a flip. I think I'm gonna dual wield tonight. I think it's a 2 at a time kind of night. Nice, Alex. What size? Did you go big or small? They both have important uses. Nice. I really sort of fell in love with my really small cast iron to start, though. Like, this was my original favorite. Because, I mean, 2 eggs in that thing, it's just, like, perfect for it. But then you need the big boys for doing things like everything else. Impracticably large for your home stove. More power. Rinse out our container here. Ooh. Another raid. Welcome in, raiders. Hi, Hammy's Hangout. Welcome, raiders. Hi, I'm Chef Jay Tay. I cook here on Twitch 4 nights a week. We're doing some Turkish-Mexican fusion tonight. What are you all coming from? We've got some sumac onions going here. We've got a tomatillo, roasted tomatillo salsa. I've made a Blackbean hummus. I've roasted my homemade doner. And I was just getting started on my flatbread. Corn fritters. Sweet ones? Savory? Should take your chicken off the heat when it's done. Though the US federal government used to suggest 165 for 15 seconds. Hey Blake, welcome in. And so let's do a little flatbread action here. We got 2 hot pans going. Might as well make up my crema while we're waiting. I didn't get proper crema. I apologize to the diehard sour cream crema fans. I'm just using regular sour cream. Are you cooking at all? Not really. I got a decent flame underneath them. Lime juice. Cream cheese and goat cheese milk. I honestly don't know the exact difference between creme fraiche, crema, and sour cream as far as fat contents, and I know crema is a bit smoother and looser. This is still a bit thick for crema. I don't know how much lime juice I want to throw in there though. The flatbread's going to be for the hummus and for the sandwich. Do I work as a chef? Not anymore. I used to run a small business out of Sonoma County. I have a mobile trailer, food kitchen trailer, and used to work out of that. I haven't seen a good opportunity for getting back into doing something. Like, the market is just starting to come back. Like, I'm starting to see some things start to open back up as far as food, but we're still in this sort of COVID lull. But I've been streaming here full-time for, well, I say full-time. It's not like I make an income on this. It's my hobby. But I've been doing this pretty much full-time for 5 or so years now. 6 years. 7 years. The time just flies. But if you look down below, you can see all my info. You know, I'm graduate culinary institute of America. I've worked in all sorts of different kitchens. I've worked in all sorts of different types of kitchens. Yeah. Worked at a private chef before. If I were, it's probably what I would go for if I were doing that these days. Okay, what else do we got other than burning flatbread? Sort of interesting, the flatbreads have thickened up a bit, but food trucks are in no way, any way superior to a physical location. A physical location just costs more. initially. You have a big upfront cost in a physical location. You have a ton of fees, permits, paying for things with a food trailer. Let's go back to the big food truck hype and explosion in LA back with the Koji truck and the Bauhaus trucks and all of that back in the day. That explosion of food trucks came because all of a sudden they learned that they could they started doing vinyl wraps, and they could rent out the trucks. And so you had this company called Road Stoves renting out trucks, which is really the name that made food trucks in modern day, was renting them out to these companies and just making bank. Like, they're renting out the trucks, they're just wrapping them, and then they get money back from them. If you're running a truck, at least here in California, the rules, I'm assuming, are much looser in Texas and some more right-wing states. The conservative states. In California, in order to have a mobile food truck, you have to store it in a county-approved, food-safe commissary, of which there's usually only a handful per county. There's three of them that I know of in Sonoma County. One of them, well, no, I take that back. 4 of them that I know in Sonoma County. 2 of them are completely private. One of them is basically like 1 or 2 spots. And the other one is a full-time place, which I used to work out of. So you're paying for that. You're basically paying rent in order to have a legal place to clean up your truck. Then you go to all of these different places. If you're a good talker, maybe you can talk your way into having a space to do your sales for free. Most of the time, you're paying them too. So you're paying to clean it and store it, and then you're paying it again to have a place to sell. And then if you're doing those in different cities, you have to have permits for each of those cities. You have to have a health permit. And since you're not in a physical location, you're either paying for a more expensive permit, or you're getting small little ones for every single place that you go. It's death by 1,000 cuts as far as compared to having a single location that is more expensive initially. Thank you for the resub, Sahara. Greatly appreciate that. How you doing tonight? Welcome in. So like when I was doing farmers markets, I was doing upwards of 10 farmers markets a week at one point in 2 counties. And so I had health permits for 2 counties. I had city permits for like 7 or 8 cities. Like, it's just paperwork after paperwork. And then I was doing it at farmers markets. And so farmers market agreement, insurance. Awesome, Zahara. I'm doing a lot better today. I'll repeat the fun of my day. I went out, was very public today. Went out, did all sorts of shopping. Saw all sorts of people. Got home and started getting ready for stream. Went to tie up my hair for cooking. Looked in the mirror in my bathroom. Realized I had misbuttoned my shirt and was walking around with my shirt misbuttoned the entire day. But otherwise, I'm having a pretty good night. We're getting a couple of subs tonight. We got all sorts of raiders. Got a couple of follows tonight. We got some delicious food on the menu. Let me grab my tortilla holder to keep these all warm. What no. Over here. Follow the face. You gotta have the tortilla holder. Even though they're not tortillas. They're close, but no, not tortillas. But I had an interesting day otherwise. I did a little spray painting. I don't spray paint very often. I tried ordering online from Safeway, something that I have never done before. Went about as expected. Like, went all right, but yeah. Safeway just doesn't like that I don't like sharing all my personal information. Like, their website half works for me half of the time, and I don't want to sign up for any of their notifications or location detection or anything with the app. While we're waiting on these, let's see what our lamb looks like. Do we create a disaster here? Or do we have deliciousness awaiting us? One of my tongs on the floor. It's a perfect place for him. Let's see if I can just pull on this. Have it pop out. Yeah. It is. Like, everyone wants to steal your data. Is everyone keeping track of the news with autos? And the bills they're signing with autos? And how cars are now going to not work if you're inebriated? Or if the car thinks you're inebriated? Which I'm sure is gonna work wonderful in emergencies. Like, I don't necessarily want drunks on the road. At the same time, if I'm drinking at home and I have to evacuate, I sort of want to be able to take my car. I've heard even less, even more pure answers, like, you know, there's an emergency when you're out at the beach and you just need to move the car, sort of a thing. Though, to be honest, it's just the start. Like, the inevitability here, I don't know if people realize this, is unless we somehow change our insurance system here in the US, there is going to be some break point here with autonomy and safe driving where insurance just makes it too inexpensive for anyone to have a car that they can drive on their own. It's just gonna... You're gonna have to be a millionaire in order to drive your own car at some point here in probably the next 20 years. Actually, billionaire. That is the beauty of where I am living. And I need to do it more often. I need to walk to the supermarket more often. It's slicing up nicely. Meat is tasty. Last set of flatbreads. Some of the less prettier flatbreads. For our hummus. I'm hungry. I don't want to wait. It's like it just jumps out of my ear sometimes. Just... You'll note with the flatbread, it's not super bubbly. There's a few bubbles, but it's gotten thickness from the yeast from when it cooked. I didn't add any. Some people throw, and I occasionally throw in some sort of chemical leavener, some baking soda, baking powder, to make it bubble up a bit more when they're doing flatbread or anything along this line. Partially leavened breads. Those were hot. Okay, I think it's plating time here. Let's find ourselves a pretty flatbread here. And our lime crema. Grab a photo or two. I can tell you that lamb is cooking. From the little bite I had from that, you know, it's got all sorts of seasoning in there. And then we got this loveliness back here. Smoky. And delicious. The hummus is smoky, it's acidic from the lemon, it's bright, but then the beans sort of meld them together. It's good stuff. Really smoky though. I'm a little worried that the smoked paprika that I haven't broken into might be too much. Yeah, the captions are great. Sometimes. I wonder sometimes if maybe I should improve them, and then I think, no. Chat loves them. Let them be wrong. I'm not relying on them. Which is sort of a sad sentiment, because the people that actually need them, I probably should fix them and make them better. It's funny to say I won't, though. I appreciate all of you hanging out with me tonight. I didn't make my decision for Monday. Or for Wednesday. Let's do a quick look here on... Let's wrap up our dinner vote for the week. Sesame is lost again. But I don't feel as bad because So Fluff voted for both of them. So Wednesday, I will be doing dinner and using pesto. Basil. One of these days, Sesame will win. One of these days. So that is our fun for Wednesday. I hope you come back to join me for that. What else we got coming up this week? Doing a chicken and spinach bake on Friday. Need more info on that one. I need to fill that one out. And then we're doing Delaware on Sunday. I had a vote in the Discord. I gave everyone the choice between a sandwich that was basically a Thanksgiving sandwich. It was turkey with stuffing and cranberry sauce and mayo, along with vinegar fries, which are both Delaware favorites, apparently. Chat instead chose chicken with slippery noodles, or slippery, what is it? Slippery dumplings. They're dumplings, but they're like noodle dumplings. They cook in with the chicken. And peach pie. I didn't know this, but Delaware used to be a major producer of peaches for the U.S. And so their state dessert is peach pie. So Sunday we're doing peach pie. I wish you all a wonderful start to your week, and I hope to see you back here on Wednesday. Good night, folks. I'm not going to raid out tonight.